Hey, what's up, Reefers? Today is going to be a pretty exciting vlog, but before we begin, I have a favor to ask for you guys. As you guys can obviously hear, English is not my first language. In fact, it's my third language, and some of my pronunciations are pretty sketchy. So if you notice any word I'm obviously pronouncing wrong, please leave a comment down below and just be kind. I'll give you an example. I have been pronouncing McDonald, for the longest time, because in Chinese, it's pronounced 麦当劳. So this is just one of many examples. If you notice anything that's obviously wrong, leave a comment so I can learn from you guys as well. Now, back to the vlog. Today is exciting because I plan to start adding larger corals into my 17-gallon drop-off tank, so I'm gonna meet up with 2 local reefers today to pick up some colony. My plan is to break up the colony and then super glue them along the rock structure to kind of seed the arch. And I'll go over it a little bit more down the road after I get the coral and start breaking it up. And as a result, I brought my trusty styrofoam box because it's been really cold in Maryland these past 2 days, as well as a bucket in case I get more than I was expecting to get. So, shall we get the day started and see what's going on? Yo, so I'm super stoked about the colony I picked up from the first reefer. I'm on the way to meet up with the second reefer right now, so be right back.
Fine.
Cool.
I'll be a hand model today.
Gotcha. Awesome.
Cool.
Alright guys, just picked up all the corals and I am super stoked for today. Met some really great reefers, all super friendly, all really encouraging and helpful, and of course the price can't be beat. I mean, just such a great price and really healthy corals. So I can't wait to go home right now to acclimate the corals and then frag them up. Alright guys, we're back home. I acclimated the coral and dropped them in the tank. I just want to show you how large these colonies is that we picked up. And I just got them in the tank, so they're slowly opening up. And obviously they're not going to stay like this. I'm going to break them up and glue the small pieces along the rock structure. And on the other side, I have the green star polyp just kind of temporarily sitting right there. Once I take care of all these zoas over there, I'm gonna glue this mat down on the other side to let it start growing on the bottom acrylic. Alright, so it has been a few hours and the zoa has a chance to kind of open up. And as you see, it's a really nice red/orange/rust color. This is about 80% blue and 20% white, and so that is not full-blown actinic yet, and it's nice. It's really nice actually under actinic, but under regular white it's a little bit more dull. It's almost like a slightly lighter brown. So this zoa is definitely more for the background. So these are not centerpieces, and that's great because I have them in a huge amount of numbers. So that's those guys. I had another piece of dulled out eagle eyes that I picked up from the local reefer that I'm gonna keep in the 45-gallon tank first for it to color up. It actually came from a similar colony from the bright one, but it just kind of got dulled out under a different lighting. So I'm gonna nurse that back to color first. And as you see down here, there's actually 2 small frags of eagle eyes as well. That's pretty bright. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach them to the rock structure. Now swinging to the other side, you see the green star polyp that I picked up. It is actually really bright. It's actually brighter than I thought it would. It's actually brighter than the one I have in the 45-gallon over there. So I'm gonna dice this into maybe 2 or 3 pieces. Have a tiny piece right here for it to spread, and then have another piece on the open area on the other side of the tank, and just let it grow out. So we'll see how it goes. Alright guys, this is a great looking piece, but then just too big for my tank. So obviously I'm going to break this up. And I see a couple pieces that just kind of attached, so I just peel these off first. And zoas are okay out of water for a little bit due to in nature during low tide they'll be exposed to air. But today's pretty cold, so I want to get this quick. I'm gonna break this into a couple pieces first so they're a little bit more manageable in terms of fragging. So let's see. Here's obviously cluster, 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 cluster. And this is just like a plate coral skeleton that it grew on. So I'm gonna just try to break it right here first. And let's see. Oh, thank you for the light. There you go. So right now we got half. And we got some amphipod crawling out. Alright, just see where it breaks. And it breaks pretty easy because this is coral skeleton. And we see all these amphipods just crawling around as living among the crevices. So this, I think I'll break it up a little bit further. This is a nice cluster, so maybe I'll break it right here. So really nice little cluster right there. Put it in the bucket for now. This one, I'll just break it apart and we'll deal with it later. Okay. And I wanted to show you guys what we have in the bucket. So there's a lot of little chunks right here, but then they're really thick, which is completely okay. But I prefer because I want to stick the polyp pretty much straight onto the rock structure. So we're gonna go back inside so we can chip away the bottom, so it's not as thick. It's just on a little bit of ribble, and we'll glue the ribble right on the rock structure. So let's go in, get some water in the bucket. All right, so we're back in with the buckets of a bunch of frags, and I got some help for today. So meet the Reef Squad. We got Myra right here. Woohoo! We got Joy right here, new member of the Reef Squad. And then, of course, we got Sally right here. Hi. And Sally recently got a new Instagram account. Sally, tell them what your Instagram name is.
Miss Average Reefer.
What is your Instagram name again?
Miss Average Reefer.
What is your Instagram name again?
Miss Reefer. Hey, Miss Average.
What the hell?
I failed it.
All right, we'll work on it. So right now I'm going to explain exactly what needs to happen because we already kind of fragged that large colony into little frags, right? But here, let me pull one out. So it looks like this right now, okay? Which is normally fine. But because we want to kind of glue it onto the rock structure, I don't want them to stick out too much. That's why we want to chip away the bottom piece. So that's only a really thin layer of rock right underneath the polyp. We want to get as close to the polyp as possible without them breaking out. Now, if they kind of break off, that is fine. I can still glue them directly onto the rock. We got these guys. We don't need to do all of them. We can keep a couple as frags that will give people a trade. I know Sally's eyeing a couple pieces, so she'll take some back. So we'll just do a couple of them and see how it goes. Questions?
No questions.
Oh, she's a doctor, so she should be good at this. Wrong type of doctor, though. All right, let's do it. Alright, so we are done with the fragging after like hour and two. Thank you for helping out. Reef Squad. So Sally, this is your first time fragging. What do you think?
I think it's awesome. It's not really hard, but I'm not the one who did most of the work. She did.
Wait, so the non-reefer actually did most of the work. Dr. Liu, what did you think?
It's fun, but smells bad.
Smells bad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're killing all the corals.
Yeah.
Alright, so Joy, you were just kind of playing on the phone the whole time. Well, you're helping us record.
Yes, I just record. And
Thank
I
you.
feel it's so cool.
Cool by association.
Yes.
Alright, so here, you guys can't really see because it's so blue. So all the polyp are kind of glued in. We have a lot of leftover, so if you're in the DMV area, let me know. We can probably hook you up. So it has been about 24 hours since the zoas went into the tank, and a lot of them are starting to peek out. And as you can see, the red zoa is kind of littered across the rockscape at the moment. Now, I am not completely happy with them yet, simply because a couple pieces, they still have a really large rock underneath it. For example, this one right there. See that big ridge right there? Also the one in the back. I mean, like, these are fine. These look great, right? That's how I ideally would get them too, just flat against the existing rock. So I think what I will do in the next few days after the zoa kind of rests a little bit and acclimate a little bit is to actually go the other direction. Before we were trying to chisel away the rock underneath the polyps. Now I'm going to just use a razor blade and see if I can scrape the polyp along with some rock off this, like, these pebbles, and then glue it flat against these rock structure, and we'll see how that goes. It's totally trial and error, and I'm hoping to share all these with you guys so you can kind of see what works best as well. And let me go over to the other side. And again, I apologize for my parrot Stinky is extremely happy tonight for whatever reason, and he's just whistling and making noise, saying hi. Now, like that. See these rocks right there? Yeah, I'm not a big fan. So I'm gonna see if I can use the razor blade to kind of cut these guys out and then just glue it directly to the rock. But they are coming out, so that's a good sign. Now, let's move on to GSP. That piece is nice. That piece is nice. These are like laying flat against the bottom, so those are good. However, the main piece right here, it sticks up quite a bit, and that's because there's like rubles and shells and stuff like that underneath this mat, so it's kind of growing on top of it. So I'm going to see if I can start cleaning the rubles out and see if I can find a large enough piece that's flat that I can cut off and lay it right here. And of course, I'm going to clean out the detritus first before I kind of glue it to the acrylic. So that's kind of my next mission right here, doing this as well as scraping some of the polyp out to eliminate the little ridge or the rocks underneath the polyps, and then glue it on, and we'll see. One really cool thing I want to point out, and let me zoom in, not too much. This rock right here, there's actually either a clam or mussel or something right there. I'm not sure if you guys can see it right there. And I didn't even notice it until this morning. I was like, oh, what is this opening? And I look at it, oh, it's actually alive. That is really cool. So I know these zoas came from Vietnam not that long ago. And so there must be all kinds of hitchhikers. I mean, the corals are dipped multiple times, so it should be safe, but really cool to see something like this. And let me also mention the eagle eyes and the radioactive dragon eyes. I got a few bright polyps that, like I mentioned before, and they're starting to peek out, so that's awesome. But I'm definitely looking for more of these guys, so the quest is not over yet to find eagle eyes and dragon eyes. Alright, well, let me also show you what happened to the rest of the red zoa. For that, let's move over to the 45-gallon tank. And you may notice that the rock structure looks a lot more full now, like there's more things going on. And let me show you. That is because, number one, I moved the Sunny D up here because it was getting stung, so I kind of ripped off the original pebble to up here, and I didn't even notice how much it grew. It's like it went all the way down there, so there's more behind the this piece right there. But I added the new zoa up here as well. So far, the frog spawn is not really bothering it too much, even though they touch. And also, I added a small colony right there because just too many of these guys. And speaking of too many, here are the rest of the red zoa. As you can see, I broke them up into really fine pieces. Now the idea is to kind of line the rock structure in the 7-gallon drop-off tank with it, but it's just too many. So what ended up happening is that we put pretty much 3 or 4 frags onto a BRS small frag rock, and I got a couple pieces of rock here, and just super glue them on there temporarily so that they do not get lost or get sink into sand. And I may have to buy some reef plugs, like small reef plug. I'm not a huge fan of reef plug, but I think I finally need to go that route and just make some frags of these guys to kind of spread them. And swinging back over here, zoom in, that piece of rock, it's if you remember earlier in this video, I mentioned that there's a large piece of eagle eye that got dulled out due to the light in this previous tank. So that's a piece right there. I can see some hints of color up here. I mean, it's really obvious that it's eagle eye, and I'm just gonna wait and see if the color comes back or not in this 45-gallon tank. So far, all the zoas in this 45-gallon tank seems pretty happy, and they do tend to color up. So I'm crossing my fingers for that piece. And this is gonna do it for this this vlog. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. If you do, make sure you hit the like button, leave a comment, and then be sure to subscribe. And I guess that's it, and I will talk to you guys next time.